Now, I want to get your thoughts, Stephen, on a player who wasn't involved against Plymouth, but someone who could gradually be integrated into City's first team squad very soon, and that is 19-year-old Claudio Echeverri, an Argentine attacking midfielder who was joined from River Plate. He actually joined in January 2024, but he remained on loan until January of this year, and then
Yeah.
was allowed to represent Argentina at the Under-20 South American Championship. He's now back in Manchester. He's set to train with Pep Guardiola's first team, and he could potentially be in contention for a couple of first team games before the end of this season. So, I'd like to get your thoughts, Stephen, on Echeverri as a player, and what do you think he'll bring to the City side, and when do you think maybe Guardiola would be tempted to give him some first team action?
Immediately, there's a sort of litmus test. If you're the captain of any Argentinian youth side, you are obviously a very talented footballer. That doesn't mean you're going to be world class, which is the level, or exceptional, which is the level you need to be at Manchester City. But it means you're going to have a pretty damn good career in football if you're the captain of an Argentinian youth side. And he's not just done that for one generation; he's done it for a few now as well. So, first shot to fame a few years back when he scored a hat trick. I think it was in the under 17s or 18s against Brazil, which is massive, and 6 goals in 9 games at the Under-20 South American Championships for Argentina as well. In and out the side at River Plate, but there's a little bit of politics there as well. Young side. He's not leaving with the good grace of Julian Alvarez, put it that way, where they loved him there and they felt like he'd done his stint before he left. For what I know, the River Plate fans were a little bit frustrated with his eagerness to leave, and so he's not really left on a good note. And I think that probably leads into him not being used quite as much, as he would have liked. But the talent is obvious, You only have to, watch him play to see that this guy is explosive, aggressive. He makes things happen. But at the same time, there's a huge difference between not only the Argentinian league to Premier League, but under 20 football to the Premier League. It's a massive step up. And I think Guardiola was unsurprisingly coy about his opportunities or expectations for this season. City's squad has gone from being really small to suddenly quite bloated because of a bunch of signings and so on. So um, it's a deeper squad now, and if everyone's fit, we're looking at scenarios where 2 or 3 people just don't make the bench because we've got too many players. We have got a squad of 25 people now. I know a few are injured still and so on, but it is a bigger squad. And Echeverri, look, he's really talented. His job now is to make an impression in training. His job now is to press Guardiola and pick up any opportunities off the bench if he can get on the bench in the first place. I'm going to be honest. I don't expect him to be involved much this season. I think the top four race dictates dictates that Guardiola will lead on experience, and the FA Cup isn't going to give him opportunities either because look, it's Bournemouth, yeah, but you're not going to change your team for that. You're going to go for it, given that we've got one game a week now, so it'll be our strongest team there, and then you're in the semi-finals and the final if you get there. So it's going to be the strongest side. There is hope, that he could get some minutes, but we're looking at the very obvious Guardiola minutes where you're playing at home, you're 3-0 up, you're the fourth substitute, for 20 minutes left. I think that's his best bet. That's not even an indicator of his quality. Phil Foden got that role when he got into Manchester City squad. Many senior players have got that role as well. It's just how Guardiola works. He relies on what he knows until the job's done. Football's strange. It could be that, a couple of injuries. De Bruyne is not feeling fully fit. McAtee, isn't there or whatever. So Echeverri gets on the bench. He comes on. He scores a goal, gets an assist to make it 5-0 from 3-0, something like that. And all of a sudden, the clamour for him to be on the bench. Guardiola gets excited by seeing a young Argentinian number 10, takes him back a little bit. He remembers her being late 30s again or something like that. He could get excited, Guardiola, and have flashbacks to Messi or whatever. He's not Messi, let's be honest, but there are parallels, and he could get a chance. But I think we have to be realistic. As talented as he looks like, and he really does look special, aggressive, direct, a good passer, an explosive finisher, a good dribbler, and a leader as well. The fact that he captains sides. He's also a young lad who's just joined English football and hasn't played a lot of footballs over the past year. So we're going to have to be cautious. And I reckon next season will be the one where, if he's still here, where he starts to make inroads into the team. Because I reckon McAtee will probably leave, if we're being honest. So that would be his current role. And I think James has got it because he's getting minutes at the moment. So that's my expectations.
Yeah, and he's obviously highly rated, one of the most brightest prospects in South America. Enjoyed a lot of success at academy level for club and country. But his aim now that he's arrived at City is to, as you said earlier, to sort of show Guardiola why he
Yeah.
deserves a place in the first team now. That's his sort of short term goal at the moment. And City's football director Chiki Begiristain has said that they'll provide Echeverri with everything he needs to be successful, and it's City's job now to sort of shape Claudio into a world-class player. So it's
Yeah.
exciting times for him and exciting times for City as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's very, very possible because he has the raw tools and skill set. It's just one of those things. Once again, it's just a massive leap. Look, the thing is, he plays football aggressively with a real tenacious footballer. He has the very Savinho-esque mentality, like you knock me down, I'll get up and go again at you, and that that can translate to the Premier League quite naturally because obviously, even though he's only about 5'7", Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Sergio Aguero. The list of footballers that are 5'7" who just seem to have wonderful careers is sort of like the sweet spot for some reason. Not I don't know why. Creative players at 5'7", it just works. So he'll have that on his side. I suspect he'll be pushed off the ball a little bit at first. But once he adapts to the level, and I already saw, by the way, City sort of post pictures of who wins at training, and he was on the winning team immediately, so I already saw he's had a bit of an impact there. If he's that good, you can't hold a good talent down, and everything suggests so far that he is. So let's see how he gets on. Look, honestly, I would be buzzing if he does because I also think there's a chance that he's arrived at the right moment because City are very forward thinking right now. They're looking at the future, and you know there might be an element of that Echeverri signed too soon. If he'd signed now as opposed to a year ago and joined now, I think it would have been a lot more exciting. But I think City prepared for him so long that maybe some of the shine's gone a little bit. I don't maybe nothing in that, but I would be a lot more excited now if I wasn't be waiting for a year for him to come. I wouldn't be surprised if Guardiola was just randomly giving him, not expecting it. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a little bit more curious too. But the fact that he's arrived now when City are trying to clearly put their age down, the average age down, and try and get some new blood in there, well, there's not a better chance to sign, better time to sign than during a very obvious rebuild for the future.
Yeah, and do you think that City see Echeverri as maybe a long-term replacement for someone that's already in the senior squad, or is this just a player that they've thought, it's such a talented player, we've got to get him in, and he'll strengthen the squad further?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, no one's going to place De Bruyne because De Bruyne is De Bruyne, but De Bruyne is also ultimately just a number in the squad. He's more than that, but you know what I'm saying. If he goes, you have to replace him. I expect City will go big, and the links to people like Florian Wirtz, I don't think they're unfounded. But at some point, Bernardo won't be here. At some point, Gundogan won't be here very soon, you'd argue. At some point, Jack Grealish, I would argue, won't be here as well. Kevin De Bruyne, there's four very senior players who often play in advanced midfield roles there or forward attacking roles. That might move on very soon. And look, Echeverri, he's not a striker, but he definitely can do that false nine thing or whatever as well. So there's another option there with Marmoush. Yeah, I think City probably see a potential gap for him. And look, Phil Foden as well, brilliant. He's not had his best season, so Phil's been taken off a few times for James McAtee this season, because he's not had the impact. And look, I think look, as much as I love James McAtee, Echeverri might be a slightly better talent there. So if he gets those minutes, who knows? I don't think anyone's safe at the moment, and I think that's actually quite refreshing. And I think he'll sense that as well because he's smart enough to read the room. And yeah, I can't wait, man. I hope there's nothing more exciting than a South American wonder kid. And we've got Vitor Reis now. We've got Savinho, so maybe a third is about to come in.